Hello everyone. I welcome you to another series of Next Step Forward. Next Step Forward is a series I have designed with an intent to assist you with simple yet powerful solutions to help you progress in your job, role, and career. This series aims to address some of the most common queries that can help anyone progress in their professional life. In our today's session, I would like to talk about a scenario where one might get into a conflicting situation with their supervisor or their subordinate. So the scenario is like this. One of a very senior manager is now in a conflict with his supervisor and also one of the other senior director of the firm. This conflict had turned so worse that the person now feels he is stuck in a situation where he has not very many options, actually very limited options, and he just don't know what to do next. So today we'll talk about, if at all we find ourselves into such complicated, sensitive situations, what can be the next step forward that can help us actually mitigate the damage. Friends, conflicts are part of workspace because no two people think and work the same way. And conflicts will also vary in their magnitude and intensity because of the authority that we hold in a given organization. But sometimes even simple things can turn worse when we react to, to things that's not really expected out of our role or of our position. So in this given scenario, we have found this person who's at a quite mid-level, senior level position, but is caught up in a conflict with his supervisor. So the next step forward for such a scenario or such a situation would be, first thing first, never ever give knee-jerk reactions if you find yourself caught up in a conflict that you feel is turning into a worst case scenario. Try to, first thing is try to stop finding a solution to it. Because when we are in conflict, our stress alerts in our body are always trying to protect us. And this is the very reason why we reflect less and react more under stressful situations. So the first thing you need to do, or for that matter, anyone who's into a conflicting situation or had a major fight with a supervisor, is to slow down and to find some calm, a sense of calm that would really help them to think from a different dimension. But this different perspective, dimension, and solution only comes when we settle down and calm down. So instead of giving a knee-jerk reaction, give yourself a break. If possible, take a leave. If possible, work remotely and ensure that you are out of that same premises or the environment where you can then find time for yourself to relax and think from a more calm state of mind. The next step forward that you could do after this is to recall the entire incident. Yes, there could be times where you may feel that you were not at all wrong, but rather were wronged by somebody else. But looking at it from a neutral perspective is what you would need to really understand why this conflict has turned into, had shaped into a worst case scenario. Another thing that you could do here is also to understand what could be the root cause of a full-blown conflict. Is there something more to what really was at play? Because sometimes we do have a history with some of our co-workers and also our supervisors, and there has to be some sort of a history or a past experience basis on which we may assume a lot, we may hold our own preconceived notions, and that is also the reason why sometimes we overreact and behave in inappropriate manner than we should be. So while you are thinking deep So the first thing is you calm down, then you reflect deeply, recall the whole incident, and try and understand, is there something more to what's that meet the eye? Is there some kind of a history? And what is it at play? When you calmly reflect on these simple queries, you may find a lot of insights coming in, and also maybe perhaps be able to see, was it really that you overreacted? Was it really needed, or was it just out of something else that your reaction was a result of? So, a small few next step forwards, if you follow in here, you may save yourself and can also mitigate the damage done. Finally, try to be the first person, because this is a scenario where the conflict is with somebody who's above in authority and role, which is a supervisor. So try, if you really want to mitigate the damage, it's a small world. Instead of trying to resign or quit the job or go into a shelf or gossip or cry or vent out before other colleagues, one of the best ways is to calm down, recall, reflect, think through what is at play, and finally to also be the first one to make a move towards peace. Because end of the day, it's just an organization and we are all working towards a common organizational goal. So it's absolutely fine to be the first person to make that move and enter into a dialogue with an intention to resolve the conflict. Well, friends, that's all for today. I hope the next step forwards that I had shared in here, you may find it useful or may share it with someone who you think needs it. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.